wasn't an error and they changed it. Go with the official. I'm gonna take 2 seconds with. So that's just.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, September 21st. I'd like to call to order the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee meeting. Council Clerk, will you please call the roll?
As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Brown,
Here.
Mr. Gallagher,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Sweeney,
Present.
Ms. Conwell. Ms. Conwell is absent at the moment. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Was there any public comment?
No, Madam Chair, no one submitted any public comment.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 27th. Do I have a second? Second. All right, it's been moved in second. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? If there are none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. Council Clerk, if you'll read the first item into the record, please.
Resolution number 2021-0191, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
All right, thank you very much, and who'll be speaking to us on this item?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Albert Bouchahine, Review Commission, Manager of Classification and Compensation. Good morning, members of the committee. Before you with this resolution are 4 revisions and 1 deletion, deletions to the county class plans that were approved at the July 14th, 2021 PRC meeting. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. All the revisions are routine maintenance and have no fiscal impact.
All right, thank you very much. On those revisions, any incumbents?
Madam Chair, yes, the GIS analyst has 2 incumbents. The GIS technician has 2. The manager emergency management and the senior GIS analyst both have 1 incumbent, and the proposed deleted classification does not have an incumbent.
All right, I'll open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions. Councilman Sweeney?
Madam Chairwoman, can you define incumbent for me since I don't know?
Sure. Councilman, an incumbent means a position, an employee in that position.
Oh, there's already there.
In the deleted classification, there are no incumbents. Nobody holds that position.
Got it.
That's why we're proposing deletion.
Current employee, basically.
Correct.
Any other questions? All right, there being none, do you need this on second reading, or can we move it through the?
Madam Chair, you can go through your normal process.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so I'll make a motion to move this to the full body of the council. Is there a second?
Second, Sweeney?
All right, it's been moved in second. If there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Council Clerk, if you'll read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution number 2021-0196, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Albert Bouchahine again. Before you are 18 revised classifications, 16 of them which are routine maintenance. 2 of the revisions were requests by the departments. These proposed before you were approved by the PRC at their August 4th, 2021 meeting.
All right, and again, regarding incumbents.
Madam Chair, the majority of them do have incumbents. I'd be happy to read them if you wish. The Adult Program Customer Service Representative has 2 incumbents. The Advocacy Coordinator has 1 incumbent. The Child Health Care Specialist has 1. The Deputy Sheriff Captain has 2. The Early Child Resource and Training Coordinator has 1. The Employee and Labor Relations Specialist has 4. The Family Justice Center Operations Coordinator has 1. Human Resources Business Partner has 3. The Intelligence Analyst does not currently have an incumbent, but the department wishes to recruit for that shortly. The Justice Systems Advocates, there are 15 of them. There are 6 neighborhood center managers. There is currently not a full-time manager, I shouldn't say full-time, but a permanent manager of payroll, but they're in a process of recruiting for that position. The Senior Assessment Specialist, there is 1. The Senior Examiner, Senior Justice Systems Advocate has 0. The Senior Examiner has 2. The Senior Supervisor, Employment and Family Services has 8. The Supervisor of Case Control, again, has no incumbents, but the department wishes to keep that active. And the Witness Victim Program Specialist has 1.
Thank you very much. And the ones that you identified, 2 were requested by the department. Which 2 were those?
That one was the Manager of Payroll, and the other was the Deputy Sheriff Captain.
And any impact to the budget?
There's no fiscal impact on any of these, Madam
All right.
Chair.
Thank you very much. I'll open it up to my colleagues. Gentlemen, do you have any questions?
Madam Chair.
Councilman Miller.
Madam Chair, to Mr. Bushanine, are there any cases where the changes provide for additional qualifications that incumbents might currently not be able to meet?
Madam Chair, to Councilman Miller, no, that is not the case. The Deputy Sheriff Captain, we had a case where we deleted, when we replaced one certification for another. At the request of the department, we removed the post-intermediate certification and replaced it with the OPATA certification, which they currently have. That is the only one that changed minimum requirements. The other requested classification was Manager of Payroll. Again, that there is no current incumbent in that position, so they're in a process of recruiting for that.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. All right, if there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, I'll make the motion to move this to the full body of the council. All right, there being none, all in favor, please.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the second. If there are no further questions, comments, or concerns, it's been properly moved in second. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
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 All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. And Council Clerk, if you'll read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution number 2021-0206, confirming the county executive's appointments of various individuals to serve on the Commission on Human Rights for various terms.
All right, thank you very much. I will turn it over to Director Pomerantz, if you'll give us a little bit of background, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Commission on Human Rights was established in 2018 to promote the principles of diversity, inclusion, and harmony in the Cuyahoga County through education, community events, the provision of advice to Cuyahoga County Council and Cuyahoga County Executive, and through receiving and resolving complaints filed under this title. The Commission on Human Rights will ensure equal opportunity and treatment for all citizens of Cuyahoga County. Pursuant to Chapter 206-13 of the Cuyahoga County Code and Title 15, I submit the following nominations on behalf of County Executive Armin Budish for new appointment to the Commission on Human Rights. Chad Eggspieler for a 3-year term, 3/1/2021 to 2/28/2024. Natalia Steele for a 2-year term, 3/1/2021 to 2/28/2023, and Elise Hara Allville, 1-year term, 3/1/2021 to 2/28/2022. As was done at one of the last meetings before the break, we did stagger these terms because they had all previously been 2-year terms, Madam Chair, and this gives us an opportunity to stagger these 3 new commissioners on these terms.
Excellent. I'll open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions for the director. All right, if there are none, will our first candidate please step forward? Chad Eggspieler, forgive me. If you'll state your name for the record, give us a little bit of background and why you'd like to serve in this position.
Good morning, Madam Chair. You said my name perfectly. My name is Chad Eggspieler. I'm a 2008 graduate of The Ohio State University Moritz College of Law. I've had 6 years as law clerks to federal judges in the District of New Jersey and here in the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. And I've spent the past 6.5 years in private practice in the appellate team at Tucker Ellis here in town. when I was first contacted about considering applying for the Human Rights Commission, I was elated. This is a type of project that in my pro bono time working with Equality Ohio, I have advocated for similar policies in other cities, including Medina, and also for the State Protection Act here in Ohio. I have given legislative testimony to that effect multiple times. I've worked on a number of amicus projects on behalf of Equality Ohio and the Trevor Project, and it's something that's very important to me. I've benefited greatly from 3 amazing mentors in the federal courts who have ensured due process and the rule of law, and listening carefully to the sides of all parties before them. And I've also been inspired by great mentors at The Ohio State University, including Dan Takaji, who was in the election law at Moritz program, and with whom I have co-coached our civil liberties and civil rights moot court team for the past 8 years. I can't imagine a higher honor than serving the community in this capacity, to hear the issues, to make sure that the civil rights and public accommodations protections are enforced and enforced fairly. And I would very much like to serve in this capacity. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Just a couple of questions. You said you were contacted. Who were you contacted by?
I was contacted by the county commissioner, actually, Armin Budish.
Okay. And what was the expectation set as far as time commitment?
I understood that there could very well be an active caseload, and I have actually made arrangements in other committees that I serve, including the Cleveland Metro Bar Association, the UPL committee that I'm staying on. I'm no longer chair of that committee. And the ethics committee, I'm cycling off to allow more time for what I hope, well, I don't hope it's an active docket. You never want there to be allegations of violations, but in the instance there are, to make sure that there is sufficient time in my docket to do proper work by those.
Excellent. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues? All right. Well, it seems like you're getting off easy today. So we thank you for joining us. It is very important that we hear directly from the county executives nominees for these positions. So with that, we're going to move on to our next candidate. You are welcome to stay. If you need to leave, we understand. So thank you again for making the time.
Thank you.
Very welcome. If our next candidate will step forward, I believe that is Ms. Natalia Steele. And again, if you'll follow the same process, state your name for the record, give us a little bit of your background and why you'd like to serve in this position.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Natalia Steele. I am an attorney with the Voorhees Law Firm here locally. Also an Ohio State grad, like Chad. Preceded him by a year. I'm sorry, you probably can't hear me so well. Is it okay if I? For the last 14 years, I've practiced at Voorhees in various groups, mainly in litigation, doing defense work, so seeing the types of issues that may come before the committee quite frequently, and helping clients work through those issues, I think in a very similar way that the committee works in, by trying to resolve issues and educate the clients on both sides on really advancing the interests of each other and of the opposing parties, instead of just kind of trying to battle it out and do the whole unrestricted fighting. So my community involvement, I think, speaks to my interest in serving in this committee. I have served on the board of Vocational Guidance Services, which is an organization dedicated to advancing the rights of individuals with disabilities. For the over 7-year term on that board, we worked on a variety of issues that centered on advancing access to employment opportunities and just basic human dignities for individuals with disabilities of all ages. And that really made me more aware of challenges that individuals that that don't have the advantages that we have face, and how to work with community resources to advance those interests and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to succeed and work well within the community. So my other involvement in the community has involved working with the Legal Aid Society, working to increase access to legal assistance and justice for individuals who are not as fortunate as some of us are. And all of those experiences put together, I think, make me well suited for the committee, and I feel like I can make a significant impact by providing this service, and I hope that you agree. But if you have any questions, happy to answer.
Thank you very much. I'm going to open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions for Ms. Steele. Councilman Miller?
I have just one question for Ms. Pomerantz as to how it occurred that we have 3 vacancies at the same time.
Through the chair, Councilman Miller, as I'd mentioned in my opening statement, these were 2-year terms that were originally created by the legislation to create the Human Rights Commission, and unfortunately, they were all starting and ending on the same time. So what we did with assistance of the council staff and the law department was to create legislation that we passed over the summer, to stagger the terms. This way, we won't have this opening so that there will always be a commissioner regardless of if their terms start and end times.
And is 3 the total number on the commission, or are there more?
3 is the total number.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. And relative to commitment, and how were you contacted as well?
I was referred to the committee by a good friend, Isla Atkins, who's quite active in the community. And then I heard from the committee that I was nominated by, essentially Isla. And as far as the time commitment goes, I am currently actually off all of my boards. I've rotated off my boards, so this would be the only commitment outside of my employment that I would have on my plate, and so I feel like I can definitely dedicate the time that would be necessary.
All right, thank you. Happy to hear that. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns from my colleagues? All right, thank you, Ms. Steele, for joining us this morning again. We appreciate you making the time, and I also believe the constituents deserve an opportunity to hear directly from the nominees, so thank you. Our next candidate, Elise Hara Avil. You'll get me straight. If you'll state your name for the record, give us a little bit of your background, and share with us why you'd like to serve.
Well, first
this
of all,
body.
I'm honored to be in front of you in this capacity and being considered for the position as one of the commissioners. As a lawyer, as a manager, and as an HR professional, my resume speaks for itself. I've enjoyed being a public servant, and I continue to do so. So my dedication is there. What's not on my resume is the fact that for 3 years in law school, I too am an Ohio State graduate, but I went to Case West. You got 3 Buckeyes. I went to law school at Case Western, and during my entire 3 years, I worked for legal aid. I speak Spanish, so I had the opportunity to work on the West Side office, which has since been closed. But like my fellow colleague, I too had the opportunity to really assist the underprivileged in just maneuvering complicated legal systems that, they're under a lot of stress, and people generally are when they're in a position where they want to file a complaint. And whether it's before the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, the EEOC, or this commission, I think they need to have the ability to know that they have the support to navigate through the process. I think that based on my reputation and my work, I bring a very objective and operational approach to how a commission should run. And I just look forward to making that process clean, objective, and simple to understand for the people who we are serving.
Well, thank you, and thank you all for your willingness to serve in this capacity. I'll ask you the same two questions. How did you learn about the opportunity, and what was your expectation regarding your time commitment?
So Councilman Sonny Simon introduced the opening to me, and so I just went online because it was something that spoke to me based on my interest. With COVID, I really haven't been on any boards recently, and so it's time for me to step into it. I do have a history of having done a lot of pro bono work and been on other boards, and I thought this was a nice fresh start to start something new and yet stay connected in county government.
Well, thank you very much for that. And I guess I have one question for the director. With the opportunity being available online, you don't have to do it in front of this body, but if you could provide a list of the applicants also, people who were interested in, out of curiosity, did we have any African-American candidates apply?
I don't believe so, but I can check and get you the list of applicants.
Okay. I will open it up to my colleagues.
There are requirements for people to be an attorney, so, excuse me, Deputy Director Holly said we do have the list of applicants in our packet.
Okay. And I'll open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions. Yes, Councilman Sweeney.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Just want to thank each of the nominees for just stepping up and providing this extraordinary leadership, and it's something that is extraordinarily important. So it's more of a personal privilege, but I wanted to share that with you, and thank you for coming down and letting me know who you are.
Yep.
Thank
Councilman Gallagher.
For those in the room that weren't here at the beginning when this council and this administration was formed, this new government, Ms. Harrow was was our first HR director, and I told her at the time that I said, you have the most difficult job and the most important job that we all have to deal with, and you did, and you were fantastic. Didn't pull back from anything, told me a few things I didn't want to hear, as you did with some other people, and I think we all greatly appreciated the honesty and the forcefulness from which you spoke. And I am so glad to see you back, and I can't wait to hear more from you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
But I don't think you need to need me to tell you, when you get a compliment like that from my colleague, that is a very high compliment. So, Councilman Miller.
I would like to second the comments made by my colleague, Councilman Gallagher, and say that that I believe that your human resources background will be very important on this commission. I would anticipate that a fair number of the cases that could come forward would likely be employment related. So I think your services will be very much needed. And I do just have one question for Ms. Pomerantz, which is whether any of the incumbents completing their terms applied to be reappointed, and can they be reappointed?
Through the chair, Councilman Miller, I believe they are able to be reappointed. However, they did not seek reappointment.
I hope that doesn't frighten anyone. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, and I do see the list, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so if there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, I'll make the motion to move this to the full body of the council under second reading suspension. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded by Gallagher. If there are no further questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, thank you very much. Council Clerk, if you'll read the next item into the record. And yes, you are, if you have some place that you need to be, you are welcome to leave. If you'd like to stay, we'd love to have you. All right, Council Clerk, next item, please.
Resolution number 2021-0207, confirming the county executive's appointment of E. Harry Walker, M.D., to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending March 4th, 2025.
All right. Director Pomerantz, you're back up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Metro Health System Board of Trustees is part of the Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 339, and we are pleased to submit the following for service on the Metro Health Board of Trustees, and Dr. E. Harry Walker for an unexpired term ending 3/4/2025, replacing Bernie Marino. Members of this board shall be electors and representatives of the area served by the hospital, and the Board of Commissioners, together with the probate judge of the county senior and point service and the judge of common pleas court, have also reviewed this nomination. And we're excited that Dr. Walker, as well as Metro Health's Director of Communication and Government Affairs, Joe Froelich, are here to help support with any questions you may have.
All right, I'll open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions for the director. All right, there being none, if Dr. E. Harry Walker would please step forward, state your name for the record, give us a little bit of your background and why you'd like to serve in this position.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Dr. E. Harry Walker. I am a resident of Cleveland, Ohio, graduate of John Adams High School, class of 71, long time ago. Williams College in 75, University of Cincinnati in medical school in 79. Came back to Cleveland, did my residency at Mount Sinai, and then joined the Metro Health System at the Old Clement Center, where I've practiced for over 30 years as a primary care internal medicine physician. During that time, I got involved with numerous projects, starting with Cleveland Healthcare for the Homeless. We took care of homeless patients in various settings. From there, also became involved decades ago, and when Metro was originally asked to come and take care of some patients at the jail, we developed a program there, got that accredited. From there, went on to become the director for the East Side satellites of Metro Health, and then the West Side satellites. Doing that, got a lot of experience in developing clinics, developing budgets, doing all that sort of administrative work. So I had a long career at Metro, learned a lot, given this opportunity, I would like to use that experience to help ensure the system, which was, like I say, I spent over 30 years at.
Well, thank you very much, fellow Rebel. Excited to have you before us. I'll open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions for Dr. Walker. Councilman Sweeney.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. To my colleagues, can I see your face? Thank you.
Leadership Cleveland, yes.
This gentleman right here actually probably had one of the scariest moments a person could have. In 2004, Leadership Cleveland, on an evening of the first night, Dr. Harry Walker was in his bed in his hotel room, and Martin J. Sweeney walked in as his roommate for 2 days.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. You're a survivor.
And from that moment, Madam Chairman, to my distinguished colleagues, I've watched this gentleman's career just blossom, the most humble individual that I have interacted in my professional world, and a guy that cares. And watching him move into Slavic Village and excitement of opening that new facility many years ago just showed me how you do things. And it's an honor and privilege to be able to interact with you again in this professional capacity, and I fully support this gentleman's role on the Metro Health Board, and I know you're going to add great value. Nice seeing you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. I still remember that, though, so it was memorable for both of us.
That's the councilman's way of taking credit for your ascension. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right, Dr. Walker, your reputation clearly precedes you. You are getting off very early today. You have a rebel who solidly supports you and a former roommate, so it sounds like you're in good shape. So it looks like this term was set to begin already, so we need to go in second reading suspension?
If possible, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so I'll make a motion to move this under second reading suspension to the full body of the council. Do I have a second? Second. It's been seconded by your roommate, Councilman Sweeney. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, thank you very much. And as the others before you, we appreciate you joining us, and if you have to go, we completely understand, but you are more than welcome to stay. Council Clerk, if you'll read the next item.
Resolution number 2021-0208, confirming the county executive's reappointment of various individuals to serve on the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County for the term July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2025.
Director Pomerantz, if you'll give us a little bit of background, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm pleased to nominate on behalf of County Executive the following individuals for reappointment to the Cuyahoga County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board. Dr. Reginald C. Blue for a 4-year term, 7/1/2021 to 6/30/2025, and Harvey A. Snyder for a 4-year term, 7/1/2021 to 6/30/2025. The Adams Board is authorized by Section 340.02 of the Ohio Revised Code, and the board consists of 18 members, 10 of whom are appointed by the executive, subject to council confirmation, and 8 of whom are appointed by the Ohio Department of Alcohol and Drug Addiction Services. The mission of the board is to promote and enhance the quality of life of Cuyahoga County residents through a commitment to excellence in mental health, alcohol, drug, and other addiction services. Ms. Linda Lamp, who also supports the Adams Board and supports the board members, is here as well to help support any questions the committee may have.
All right, thank you, Director. Before our next candidate comes up, I'll open it up to my colleagues if they have any questions for the Director. All right, there being none. Our first candidate, Reginald C. Blue, if you'll step up, state your name, and give us a little background on why you'd like to continue to serve in this capacity. And it looks like you're wearing an OSU mask, and that would make you the 4th person today if you're a Buckeye.
And we're not finished.
All right, if you'll state your name and give us a little bit of background, please. Thank you.
Sure. My name is Reginald C. Blue. I've been a resident of Cuyahoga County for virtually all of my life. Cleveland School product, graduated from Glenville High School, Kent State University, John Carroll University, and The Ohio State University. Aside from going to Columbus to go to school, like I said, I've been a resident of Cuyahoga County all of that time. I've worked with special populations in my professional career since graduating from Ohio State. I also have a small private practice where I work with children, adolescents, and adults, and again, working with special populations on various issues. I've served on the board since 2006, and I've been asked if I wanted to reapply, and each time I have. I like being able to work with agencies and organizations that are devoted to making life better for those who are not as fortunate as we are, who have come in contact with various kinds of issues, alcohol, drugs, mental health. I was amazed at one of the events that we were asked to attend as board members to find one of my childhood, in fact, he lived right behind me, who was getting services from one of the agencies that we work with. And it's rewarding to me to be able to look at programs, work with individuals who are implementing programs, developing programs, and it's satisfying, quite honestly, very satisfying, because I look at that. I was asked in one of the workshops that I attended regarding how drugs have affected my life. They haven't. They haven't. I've been fortunate enough to deal with that not deal with that. I have other family members who have, and to be able to assist in programs that work to help those members of the family, extended family, get better, like I said, it's very rewarding.
We appreciate you and your willingness to continue to serve in this capacity. And I will open it up to my colleagues to see if they have any questions or comments. All right, well, I think the fact that you have been serving in this role for quite some time and that you have continued to step up to the challenge of serving in this capacity speaks volumes, and so we welcome that. I don't have any questions. Again, I think your commitment has been fully demonstrated, so I just want to say thank you for making the time. Again, I think it is important that our constituents understand who's coming before them to fill these positions and to give you an opportunity to present your desire. And so we thank you for joining us this morning. You are also getting off very easy.
And easy, we appreciate.
Yes. So with that, you may be seated, or if you have to leave, we understand, but we're going to call our next candidate up.
Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome, and I believe that is going to be Mr. Harvey Snyder. And Mr. Harvey Snyder, I've also gotten some alerts that we need to keep our masks on when we come up to the mic, so if you'll just, yep, that's okay. So moving forward, any other candidates, please be sure to keep your mask on, and if you need to move the mic just a hair closer or speak a little bit louder, that'll be helpful so that we can all hear you. And with that, I will turn it over to you to just state your name for the record and give us a little bit of background.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the opportunity to appear before this honorable council committee this date. I had the pleasure of appearing here 4 years ago, and I am honored to be appointed by the county executive. My name is Harvey Snyder. I'm a graduate also of the Ohio State University and the Case Western Reserve School of Law. Well, incidentally, it was Western Reserve when I went. To the committee, my background, I practiced law in the state, in this county, and have resided in this county all my life. I retired 7 years ago, almost 8 now, from the practice of law. And I served on the Bar Association, the State Bar, as chair of the Legal Education Committee, where I visited law schools for their approval by the Bar Association. I have also served as a member of the Adams Board since 2006. In 2015, I was chair of the Adams Board for 2 years and previously served as vice chair and as chair of the Community Relations Committee. I was involved in the initial upbringing, I call it, of NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. I am a family member, having a son who has mental illness, and that is a requirement of the Ohio Revised Code, that a member of the board be a family member. Seeing the NAMI as an important institution in the state and in this county, I served as president of the NAMI chapter here years ago. From there, I then served as a board member of NAMI Ohio in Columbus, and for 2 years I served as chair of NAMI Ohio, meeting parents and family members who were on the board throughout the state of Ohio. In this county, I've had the pleasure of serving also as an advisory member of St. Joseph's Christian Life Center, which was located on 185th and Lakeshore, and until its closing with Father Wally Hyclack. I served also as a board member of Jewish Family Services and a board member many years ago of Belfair. I am most appreciative of the opportunity to be reappointed. I am probably the oldest member of the board. I enjoy it. I give back to the community because it's given me so much. And I thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, thank you for your willingness to continue to serve and all of the work that you've done in your capacity. And I'm sure while you may be the oldest in age, you're young at heart, right?
Right.
Okay, and so I'll open it up to my colleagues to see if you have any questions or comments. All right. Well, I think that given your experience and your direct and very personal relationship, you touched on an issue that is really has been highlighted, especially during this pandemic, mental health. And I know that in many instances that has amplified the conversation because so many people have felt isolated during this time. And so I, again, applaud you and thank you for your willingness to serve in this capacity. And would just ask if you have any brief comments as it relates to your current role and your personal situation on how mental health has played a role during this during these unprecedented times.
I would only add, Chairperson, that I am very proud of our board and very proud of our staff who have implemented many programs during this pandemic and have been out in the community exposing themselves to great public possible illness because they felt it was their duty. So I'm very proud of that.
Well, thank you. Well, I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. We should be celebrating and acknowledging those frontline workers who continue to put themselves at risk for the safety and security of others. So if there are no additional questions, comments, or concern, we thank you for showing up. I'm going to make the motion to move this to the full body of the council under second reading suspension. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Miller. If there are no further questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for making the time. Thank you for both for your willingness to serve in this capacity. And OH?
And the best of luck in the forthcoming election. We all support you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. All right, Council Clerk, if you'll read the next item into the record, please.
Ordinance number 2021-0014, an uncodified ordinance authorizing the county executive to make a one-time conversion of exchange time into a straight-time payment for selected employees within the Department of Information Technology.
All right, and who will be speaking to this item this morning? Please step up and state your name for the record and give us a little background on this request, please.
I'll be
Mr. Ryan.
speaking for this. Madam Chairman, thank you. Jack Ryan, Department of Information Technology, Deputy CIO. Thank you for the opportunity to present this. This is an opportunity that we have to compensate employees for who were not able to take exchange time from various areas of Department of Information Technology due to their intense, I guess I would say the intense and continuing work requirements that required them primarily through this COVID period, but just in general to sustain operations. They literally deployed hundreds of laptops to county employees to allow them to work remotely during that period, upgraded networks, upgraded meeting software. Some of you have been the recipient of that, including some of the things in this room. They continued critical projects and dealt with an incredible volume of service desk calls to help people learn to work remotely and to change that part of our culture as we had to do to continue operations. So the list of people here from Department of IT that are included in this were star performers during that period and were unable to take the exchange time, and we're asking for them to be a one-time compensation for their efforts.
All right, thank you very much, and we thank you for the work that you did to help others. Can you speak to that just in a little bit more detail about how many of the employees were had to be transitioned from working in their office to you providing them with the equipment to work from home? Do we know roughly?
Oh, how many employees were deployed? There were, I don't have the exact numbers, honestly. Didn't come prepared for that, but there was well north of 2,000
Okay.
people that were involved in that, I think. We can certainly provide the statistics for that. So there
And
were-
how many of your staff helped execute that transition?
These people were the ones that were lost exchange time, but there were many members of the IT staff. I don't have the total count here, but there's easily 70 or 80 people involved in that effort.
Okay, and do we know what the compensation package is roughly going to be for this request?
The amount of the compensation package? Yes, ma'am. Roughly $35,000 total, spread across those employees.
Okay, thank you. I'll open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions. Yes, Councilman Gallagher.
Probably a question for Jesse. Could you explain to me, beginning to end, why these folks couldn't take this time?
I'm sorry, Jesse Drucker, Director of Human Resources. Councilman, as it was explained to me.
Director Drucker, if Director Ryan, if you'll step aside and allow Mr. Drucker to speak into the mic. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Councilman, as it was explained to me, the schedule that these people were on would not permit them to use the accrued time. That if they took the time off, it would then require to have replacements put in for them or to work additional time to make up for the time that they took off.
Why doesn't that make any sense to me?
Well, I think it's a question of staffing, sir. That if we don't have the staff and we have an emergency, as this was,
Right, so
that they would have to work extra.
My point is, not just this department. So they're coming in for this, could we expect, let's get crazy, everybody in the Justice Center to argue the same point?
No, not necessarily so.
Why so?
It depended on what service was being provided. Now, I was not on staff at the time that this occurred, but from a certain day to the next day, people were no longer in their offices and they had to be supplied with laptops and electronic equipment. And this request is basically based on that, as I understand it, that there was a concentration of hours for a particular problem. And I have to tell you, Councilman, that had these been unionized classifications, or had these been non-exempt classifications, subject to overtime regulations on the FLSA, they would have been, those individuals would have been paid under those provisions.
So is there any other group that you can think of off the top of your head that is going to qualify under what we're doing?
Well, there's
here?
a small group in Justice Services that was providing personal protective equipment. They have asked for an extension of the time to use their exchange time. Probably 4 to 5 people there.
And that's it?
That's all I've gotten, yes.
That's all you've gotten, or that's it?
I can't speak to the absolute.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Sweeney.
Thank you, Madam Director. Just on a follow-up to my colleague's question, you said they requested it. Has it been granted?
Yes, it has.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Any further questions from my colleagues? All right. Thank you very much. So if there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, are we okay to move forward with 3 readings? All right, okay.
Yes, please.
So I'll make the motion to move this to the full body of the council. If there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, it's been seconded by Miller. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, this will move to the full body of the council. We'll go through its full 3 readings. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your
You're
support.
very welcome. Council Clerk, if you'll read the final item into the record, please.
Ordinance number 2021-0015, an uncodified ordinance authorizing the county executive to provide a one-time bonus to bargaining and non-bargaining county employees who have received the COVID-19 vaccine.
All right, and Director Drucker, looks like you're back up, so if you'll state your name for the record and let us know the background on this particular request, please.
Jesse Drucker, Director of Human Resources. This is an incentive bonus for both executive and non-executive employees who have and whom we would like to have the COVID-19 vaccination. It's $100 per individual. The $100 is based on the recommendation that comes from the National Association of Governors and from the President's office. Currently, we have about 43% of the executive employees that have been vaccinated, approximately 1,900 employees. The count on the non-executive employees is approximately 100%, so which is 2,716 employees. So our records indicate that at moment, 4,650 employees have been vaccinated. That would be a total cost of $465,000. If everyone were vaccinated, it would run anywhere between $725,000 and $750,000. My understanding is that the budget officer will monitor those funds and will provide funds to various departments where needed through ARPA money.
Through what money? Which money?
ARPA.
ARPA, okay.
The COVID monies.
All right, that was my question. Are there any other questions from my colleagues? I'll start with Councilman Sweeney, since your colleague was very courteous to say, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
You're welcome.
I was going to recuse myself because we're going to get paid, but I found out as voting on something that would compensate us, but I found out that we are not eligible as elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to clarify that with you.
I have not done the research on that, Councilman. Was that a question as to whether you're eligible or not?
I believe I was told we are not eligible to receive this compensation because we are elected officials, and I'm talking through my chair to you to ask if that's accurate from your perspective.
I'll have to research that and get back to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Because I would say I can't take the money, but I'm going to vote yes because it's voting on something that we're compensated for. So that's my comments. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Looks like you have a lifeline.
Sure.
Pat Smock, Department of Human Resources. Elected officials' salaries are set by code, and so they cannot be paid a bonus. That is correct, sir.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Miller, and then Gallagher.
Do we have any understanding as to what extent we believe that paying this bonus will encourage people who have not been vaccinated to do so?
I think based on the results I think we've seen from the state, it will act to encourage employees. We really don't have a handle on what the numbers would be there. But yes, it has given employers that have put it into effect positive results.
Is the primary purpose of this action to provide such an incentive, or is it more to provide a reward and recognition of those who have already gotten vaccinated?
It's more to provide the incentive. I think people who have gotten it have done it on their own, have done it voluntarily on their own. So this is acting as an incentive to get people vaccinated.
Does that conclude your questions? All right, thank you, Councilman Miller. Councilman Gallagher.
I have a real hard time with this. I got COVID. I survived. I got my shots because the doctor said so. Personal choice. That was good for me, or at least that was medical professions told me. To incentivize any individuals to do this it just doesn't make any sense to me. I disagreed when the governor did it.
Understood.
So I just don't understand this, especially using those funds. I could almost understand it if we were going to go out to the entire population in Cuyahoga County and incentivize them to do it. But we're incentivizing our cluster of employees. And I just don't think that that's fair to be using those funds that could be used somewhere else more positively than to incentivize people that clearly have already made a choice not to do it. I'm guessing you'll get a bump, but I don't think you're going to get the bump that you think you're going to get from this. I'll move it out of committee, but I'm not going to support this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gallagher. Councilman Sweeney?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Just following up on Councilman Miller's comments, I hope it is to reward the individuals that did receive the shot and got vaccinated, because if it's not that, through the chair, why are we doing it? We should just be trying to entice the people to do it, and there'll be a lot smaller number. So that's just responding to your comments. So I think it has to be the reward, or why would we include them?
Yes, sir.
I think we had a conversation as it relates to that, if I may. I know that we have requested individuals, if they wanted to share their status, and this could also serve as an incentive for those who may not have, but might be enticed to do so with the compensation. I think in addition to not only rewarding those, I think it serves both purposes, rewarding those who have already taken the shot and incentivizing those who potentially incentivizing those who haven't already. It does enhance or increase the level of confidence that our building is a lot safer, or at least should be a lot safer when individuals are coming in from the public. So I do support this, but I do respectfully understand the concerns and the points that were made by both my colleagues. And as we continue to try to overcome this pandemic, I think that it is wise for us to try to do whatever we can to be helpful to not only the constituents abroad, but specifically those who we are working in close quarters with from time to time. So with that said, if there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, then I'll make the motion to move this to the full body of the council under second reading suspension. Do I have a second?
Second, Sweeney.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. If there are no additional comments and concerns, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Madam Chair.
Under miscellaneous business, I'm just kind of go out of order. We did receive notification that Councilwoman Conwell did provide information that she would be unable to attend today. So I'd like to make a motion to excuse her absence. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Miller. Are there any objections? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right. Thank you very much. That concludes my miscellaneous business. Are there any other? All right. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. Have a great day.